you can walk out on the court and you can be whoever you want to be. You can be as a great, like you could be the quietest dude on court, but like on court you could be like, it might just be who you are, like talking shit and playing aggressive. Like you don't seem like a guy that would talk shit, but I've seen you like mouth off to some guys too and give some fist pumps in people's faces. Like we've all, and I think that's the beauty of like playing in the NBA. Like you can be who you want to be on the court.
I'm so glad that you brought this up, Joe, because it's a running theme on this podcast.
Oh, he's so shit. I've seen that. Yeah. Don't worry.
Thank you. Good. Because he continues to refuse the fact that he's a shit talker. He says that it's just more talking to himself, but it seems
That's the worst excuse you can make.
It seems pretty obvious to me that he's a shit talker. So I'm glad that you're helping validate that.
No, 100%.
It for me, and I've made this point a couple times, but I always try to be calculated in it too, in that there are some people that if you take it to that place, it's not going to end well. At least for me, and I have a certain level of awareness of like, all right, if I poke the bear on this person too much, like it's just not going to end well for me.
I think Russ is one of those guys. Like you go at him the wrong way or whatever, say the wrong thing or get into it with him on a dead ball or like whatever it is. It takes him like 1 second and he can go for 20, 20 and 20. Like we've seen that before. Like it's it's definitely in 7 years now I've learned who this, like I ain't messing with like James Johnson. Like no way. You can say whatever you want to say to me. I'm running the other way.
I think, JJ is a great example. He was a teammate of mine in Miami. He just so happens to be like legitimately the greatest human being in terms of like the nicest guy, one of the best vets I've ever had. But exactly that. I think it would probably be considered that he's the most unanimously feared across the NBA.
I hope so. Except the kid from Charlotte Hornets tried to fight him. The twin brothers, one of them tried to fight him.
That was a bad business decision. I think Jimmy's up there as well. It's funny that you and Jimmy. I actually remember a story of, I think it was earlier this year. It might have been last year though. You guys kind of got into a little bit of a tussle, and I remember a conversation between the two of you, and you were actually like, "Let's just not go there." Like I'm trying to keep the money in my pocket. Like I just don't want to do the double tap.
The funny thing about that is, so we got into it for like years after years after years, and I always do this like stupid old man stretching routine at the half court before the game because I don't need to keep running. I need to actually just somehow stay warm. And he walked over to me pre-game and was like, yo, let's just like call it quit. Like, let's just play. Let's not get teed up today. And then that kind of became like like you said, like a bit of a running joke where he'll either say it to me or I'll say it to him nearly every time we play each other now. And since then I don't think we've been like double teed up or whatever since. And like having a few conversations with him and not hung out with him, but like in the bubble, obviously you have way more conversations with guys and all that. And I spoke to him a bit there, and he's an avid coffee drinker as well. So we had a bit of a chat about that and stuff. And so, I think that like quote unquote beef is gone, but he's a hell of a player too.
This is a really interesting conversation for someone on the outside of the NBA. So if we had a Mount Rushmore of guys that you don't talk too much shit to, it sounds like we've got Russ, James Johnson, Jimmy. Is there like a fourth face that we're putting on that Mount Rushmore?
I think it's like what Duncan was saying. It's like being calculated with like guys that I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but like a De'Aaron Fox, who's like I'm too slow. I'm not quick enough to stay in front of him. Like I might like guess right one time or twice, but like guys, it's like, it's not worth my time or effort to try and do it because I don't want to like chase him up and down the court for the next 40 minutes. Like,
I think the other side of it, like the JJ is like the physical altercation that nobody wants a part of. But the other side of it is exactly what Joe's talking about, which is actually the one that I am more like conscious of, is that, it's an 82 game season. There are nights, if you catch a guy on like a Wednesday night where he's like kind of just going to be going through the motions. And it's like, for me, that might benefit me greatly if that's my matchup and he's just going to be going through the motions. So I'm calculating in the sense that I don't need for any reason to give him any additional motivation for him
Yeah.
to turn it up. Like now all of a sudden he's
I
competing in a game
Dame,
7.
Dame would go in that category too. Like you don't
Exactly.
want to talk, like, especially because he's like literally like dribbling into the half court and shooting basically a layup for him, where like I'd have to kick it to make it that distance from the half court. Yeah, there's a few guys, like even like Steph. Steph's more of a quieter. He doesn't really talk out there and all that, but you can see like he gets that look in his eye, like, all right, like you want to play physical or you want to do that? Like,
right.
I just read it. I think he had a quote today or yesterday. It said like, when people say to him, like, stop, you do it too, like, stop running around, like, stop moving all the time. He's like, it's like to me, that's like cool because I know you don't want to chase me now. So now I'm going to run even more. And he's built to do that. That's what he does. And it's what he's done his whole career. But yeah, there's definitely some battles that you just leave alone.
Yeah, 100%.